Hello, everyone. I'm Joshua William Gelb, and welcome to Theater in Quarantine. It's Thursday, March 18th, and it is 9 o'clock here in New York City. Thank you for joining me and tuning in for Honestly Sincere by Liza Birkenmeier. Now, I want to share a couple of things before we get started. First, what you are about to see is live. This is not a film or a pre-recorded broadcast. This is happening right now in a closet in my apartment. It's been almost a year since I converted the closet behind me into Theater in Quarantine. And along with my collaborators and co-creative director, Katie Rose McLaughlin, I want to say thank you for tuning in and helping to make this project a success. Now, if you like what you see tonight, please feel free to give us a donation, big or small. You can do so at any point during the show directly in the chat. Just press the $sign. Or you can donate through our donation link on our website that goes to our Fractured Atlas page. Now, any and all proceeds go directly to the artists whose work you are about to see tonight. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all things TiQ. Now, okay, I think we're almost ready. Tonight's show will be approximately 30 minutes. Now, if you want to say hi to Katie Rose, Liza, Staab, Sara, or myself, please stay tuned after the show for a brief chat with us about the process and the work. Well, let's get started. I'm going to take a brief 1-minute break so I can get into places. Thank you again, and enjoy Honestly Sincere.
Hello?
The faceplate on this Nokia is a British flag because my mom is obsessed with the British flag.
My mom is obsessed with the French flag.
It's a step toward art, but she's 43.
Ohio was French before the revolutions. That was a joke, by the way. Who is this?
It's Greta.
Are you calling me from a dang phone booth?
Don't you recognize my voice?
I hate recognizing, and I don't recognize.
Guess what?
You're moving.
No.
I can't think of other stuff.
The faceplate was a clue. I'm on my mom's cell phone. So now I am loosed on the atmosphere, and I am no longer a bodied animal. I am only an effect.
How long do you have her cell phone?
I can do basically every single thing I've ever wished to do.
Did your read say anything?
Did you read Death of the Salesman? No, I haven't read it yet. Is there a good one?
Let me get it. By the way, I shaved off my nail with a vegetable peeler when I was pretending to be a chef. This one is good.
Does it have to do with kissing?
No.
If you've noticed, a lot of them have to do with kissing, and it hurts the arches of my feet in a little kind of like electric way every kind of I imagine them. Every time I imagine them even wanting to kiss. Read the one you liked.
Do you even have sexual feelings?
No.
You don't get, like, a tingling? Like, what do we call it? A terrible horniness, god-awful horny achiness?
Maybe.
When?
When we read the say anythings.
That's uber interesting.
That don't have to do with kissing.
Okay. A bunch of us were at a sleepover. I'll just cut to the chase. The story is about a girl who hides in a bathroom closet in a mansion. And then her friend's mom comes in and uses the bathroom while she's hiding in there. And then the mom takes a shower and opens the closet door naked, and they both scream. My hands got so sweaty when I read that the magazine feels damp.
She probably has to change schools.
Don't worry, my mom said that these things are made up.
Your mom believes nonsense.
No. She said not to worry because these are made up. You can tell. They all sound the same. It's like the same person wrote all of them. Would you ever write like this?
I would never think like that, so no. But I would commit murder with my bare hands in exchange for being able to write or think how I wanted. I need Ethan Blum's phone number.
What do you mean?
Would you tell me his phone number, please, is what I mean.
Do you mean Ethan Blum from the play?
Yes.
I thought you wanted to quit the play.
I didn't get the part I wanted.
What part did you want?
Albert.
What?
Albert.
Who?
Albert.
I don't know who that is.
What in the world is wrong with you? It's the main part.
Kim is the main part.
Albert is the main part.
Oh, like the man.
What is to gender but a violent scale of intended seriousness?
That would be uber interesting if you played Albert.
I practiced in my room every single day for 1 year. Ever since the last play, which was 1 year ago, I practiced to the Jason Alexander version CD.
So answer this. Are you quitting the play or not?
No, and that's why I need to call Ethan Blum.
You have the contact sheet too, I thought.
I lost it.
What do you need to ask Ethan Blum?
About it, like questions on the rehearsal schedule.
Did you lose it?
Yes.
But Greta, think for another second instead of like an idiot. Like, I have the rehearsal schedule.
Remember when you brought the packet of Crystal Light when we went on that really, really, really long hike at Brunswick Park? And then also had water? It makes me think that I need to change in certain ways, or that there's something uneasy about you that also protects you, or that you're psychic.
I hope I die when I'm around 21, but only if I'm extra pretty. So people will be like, they'll just be like, so sad. Like, they'll be like, we have to make a movie.
Anyway, I lied. To tell you the truth, I want you to look at the contact sheet and give me Ethan Blum's phone number so that I can ask him if I can go with me to the St. Francis dance.
What?
St. Francis has a middle school dance.
I know.
It's an all-boys school.
I know.
And so they ask girls from other schools.
I know.
So I want to go with him. I want to ask him if he wants to take me.
Okay, that makes sense. But I have to think about it a few extra seconds first, because I couldn't imagine you asking a kid, to dance. You always don't care what other people think. And so sometimes that makes me glad you're my friend. Even though sometimes it feels like anything could become humiliating at any time.
I care what other people think.
My mom says you march to the beat of your own drum.
I'm sorry, but she's stupid.
Did you know that once, when Zubin called me to ask the question about the history homework, my mom told him I was, and I quote, sitting on the pot?
You've talked about that every day for 5 months.
That could be a say anything.
It would be the best one and win humiliation of the month.
Thank you. Okay, I will get Ethan Blum's phone number, but one thing you know, he's probably gay, right?
I mean, that's what I thought based on certain qualities, but he asked that girl Marissa from his dance class to a movie as like a date once, and they went to Gloria Jean's and tried to bring their chocolate drink things in, but they got caught and had to throw them away. And then they saw a Walk to Remember, and she cried so hard afterwards that she threw up, and then they kissed.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Guess what? So now I don't have an entire fingernail, and later I'm gonna wash my finger in warm water and slather it with Neosporin and then put another bandage on it. Okay, are you ready?
I really care what other people think, and I'm not kidding.
Okay.
I almost exclusively care what other people think, but it's in this way where I'm trying to control what they think. So I understand, like, how you might think that I don't care what other people think, but it's really that I don't care what they used to think. I only care about what they think from now on.
Okay. Ethan Blum's phone number is DD Liba Da. Did you write it down?
No, I'll remember.
Do you know his sister?
Yes.
She's cool.
Sable Blum.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sable.
Sable Blum. She just got a job at Hot Topic.
Sable Blum. Sable Blum. Okay. Bye.
D Flee ba da. D Flee ba da. Put on a happy face. Brush off the clouds and cheer up. Put on a happy face. Take off that gloomy mask of tragedy. It's not your style. You look so good that you'll be glad you decided to smile. Pick out a pleasant outlook. Stick out that noble chin. Wipe off that full of doubt look. Snap off a happy grin. And spread sunshine all over the place. Just put on a happy face.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi.
Who is this?
Is this Mrs. Blum?
Who is this?
This is Greta Hamburger from the play.
Oh, how are you doing, sweetie? Ethan is so happy to be in the play with you again this year.
I'm good. Is Ethan there?
Yes. Ethan, come!
Hello?
Is your sister home?
Who is this?
It's Greta?
Am I supposed to be at play practice or something?
No. Have you ever heard of a Say Anythings in YN magazine?
No.
Do you ever have sexual feelings, like a tingling, like a, what do you call it, like a terrible horniness, god-awful horny achiness?
Every day, and it's ruining my life.
I empathize. Do you want to go to your middle school dance with me?
The St. Francis dance?
Yes. We have no choice. That's the only dance I've ever heard of.
Greta, I would really like to go with you, but I asked Marissa already, and now I really don't know what to do. I know this isn't one of life's biggest problems, but it sort of feels like it right now. I feel stressed, like unique suffering, like I permanently don't know what to do, and it's hard to imagine I'll ever feel comfortable, even physically comfortable again for a moment of my life.
I promise you'll be okay, because I will tell you exactly what to do.
Okay.
Call Marissa, which, by the way, I didn't think you were still going on dates with her anymore.
Sometimes she calls me, and sometimes I talk to her.
Anyway, this is what you do. Call her and tell her that you really like her and that you want to go out with her. Like, you want to be her boyfriend.
Never say that again, or I will have to throw myself down a large staircase and break every bone in front of you in a horrifying way.
Well, that's just how it's going to be. And then she'll say, really? And you'll say, Marissa, you're really pretty, and I've always been nervous and never been sure because you make me nervous. But now I'm sure, and I want to be your boyfriend.
Please, stop.
Then she'll say, okay, and you'll say, you know me from the plays. Like, I know Greta from Bye Bye Birdie. I've known her since last year's plays. And she has problems, and something really, really horrible happened to her. Like, the biggest humiliation you've ever heard of in your life. And I can't even tell you what it is because of that. But my mom suggested I take her to the dance because that might make her feel better. And then you say to her, what do you think? Do you think that would be nice? If I took Greta to the dance instead of you? What would you do?
Would you mind writing that down?
Is your sister home?
Which sister?
What do you mean?
I have 3 sisters.
Sable. I met her.
Okay.
Is she home?
Yeah?
Can I please speak to her?
Why?
I have a question on my math homework.
What?
At my school, I'm in a really, really advanced math level.
Really?
The highest advanced math possible, actually.
Really?
Isn't your sister a junior?
Yes.
I thought she could help me.
Wouldn't it be a much smarter choice to call someone in your class?
I tried. The question was too hard. It was too hard for everyone in the entire class. And also I called my cousin and my uncle, and it was too hard for them. I even had to call the teacher, and I said, hey, look, this is too hard. And she said I need to figure it out before tomorrow or that I would fail.
Izzy! 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 Phone!
Hello?
Hi.
Who is this?
Greta Hamburger from the play with Ethan.
Oh,
Did he call you Izzy?
yes.
Isn't your name Sable?
It's Isabel.
Oh. Why did you change it?
I like Sable.
I really like it too.
Yeah.
I will always think of you as Sable.
Okay.
In your mind, do you call yourself Sable?
I don't know.
In my mind, I call myself Little Fool.
Weird.
Do you ever get smoothies at the mall?
What?
Don't you work at Hot Topic?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't get very much stuff for free or anything, but one belt that was $30 was on sale for half off, and then I got half off that, so then it was cheap.
Whoa.
It's ugly though, but I didn't notice at first.
What do you want to do for your job later, like after college?
I don't know. I used to want to be in a band, but I guess I like music, but I guess I know that I don't like working very much, and a lot of the time someone tells me something I should do, even if it's simple, like not hard for me to do. I still resent them for asking me to do it, and then if I do it, I have a resentment for what I'm doing and feel a righteous indignation for almost no reason. So I guess what I want to do when I'm finished with school is just become someone who doesn't feel that diligence is deeply tragic and maybe even unjust.
Diligence is tragic and unjust.
But can you figure out why?
No. I have a question. Other people think you're cool, so does that make you feel that you're more entitled to your fear of being harmed?
Maybe. What do you want your job to be?
That's hard to describe because what I want is currently is to fill out forms. I love to fill out forms in thick black ink because then I have marked reality down on something, so I efficiently have the name, etc. But I would like to fill out a lot of forms, but like in a way where like every paper I touch would be incredibly important. This is not what I want for the future. This is what I want right now. I want to look like someone and therefore be someone who could walk into an office building and then at the front desk a secretary would say, "Can I get you a cup of coffee, Elberg?" And I'd say, "Sure." Even though if somebody thought like that person is a failure, it'd still be very serious. Well, we'd all be very serious. And I'd sit down and I'd take a paper out of my briefcase and I'd put information all over it in thick black ink. And my house and yard would be very serious, so no one would bother me. And I wish that right now we could sit at dinner at a restaurant with leather chairs and everyone would say, "What can I get for you?"
What would you get?
What's a serious drink?
Water?
I mean with alcohol.
Gin?
I have a math question.
Okay.
How do you find the length of a diagonal when you're given 3 coordinate points of a non-right triangle?
What?
I mean, there's a formula I'm forgetting.
Are you...
What?
You're asking me to help you with this math question.
I'm in a very advanced math class, and I thought that maybe you might know the answer since you're a junior.
That's so funny. I don't have any idea what you just said at all. And even if I did, if I was looking at your homework, I probably couldn't help you. I mean, maybe I could if I had a textbook or something.
You could come over to my house.
Now?
You could look at like a textbook or something. You could just tell me what it says.
Can't you tell what it says?
I don't understand it. You probably don't want to come over to my house, but I have met you before.
I know. I saw you in the play last year. Hello?
You did?
A year ago was the last play I saw, and you were in it with Ethan, and it had the part about the address in space.
Our town.
And you played the guy at the shop.
I was the stage manager in the second act.
I remember you doing some gestures in the part with a wedding.
You do?
I remember it really well for some reason, like I could say all the parts.
Do it.
No.
I meant to ask you, do you get smoothies at the mall?
Oh, sometimes.
So, okay, yeah, like, me too.
Well, do you want me to put you back on with Ethan since I can't help you with your math problem?
No. Maybe if I go to the mall, I could call you and tell you I was there and see if you were there, and I could bring you a smoothie. I could call you when I got there. I could call Hot Topic on my cell
Do
phone.
you seriously have a cell phone?
Of course.
Aren't you 12?
I'm 13.
Well, I don't even have a cell phone.
Yeah, I just got this one, this Nokia. It has an unusual Picasso faceplate.
Wow.
It's just, I was thinking about getting a new faceplate. What do you think I should get?
Is there a Nirvana one?
Yeah, like totally, like probably if I order it from California.
Do you even like Nirvana?
Oh, by the way, I originally called your house to call Ethan, to ask Ethan to the middle school dance.
You did?
Yeah, I asked him if he would take me to his dance at his school.
I think he has a little girlfriend or some sort of girl. I don't know. Girlfriend.
Who do you like better, me or her?
You.
Well, he does too, so that's why he's bringing me instead.
Cute.
Anyways, so, by the ways, I'll probably see you when I come over before, just, like, I'll probably be at your house before, so I'll probably see you.
Do you want me to, do your makeup or something like that?
Yes.
I have, cool, weird, seriously cool makeup.
I don't have any.
I could do something kind of crazy with your hair.
But what, brush it?
No, I don't know. I could make you look cool or something.
Hey, Greta? Greta? Are you hiding in your closet?
Is that your mom?
Greta?
Hold on.
Greta? Are you talking on my phone? Greta? Greta, get out of the closet. Greta, you're not 4. Get out of the closet. Greta. Greta. Greta, come on. I need my phone. What are you doing? You can use it later if you want. Greta, I would like to use my phone.
Bye.
Uh-huh. Life's like this. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's the way it is. Chill out, what you yelling for? Lay back, it's all been done before. And if you could only let it be, you will see I like you the way you are. When we're driving in your car and you're talking to me one-on-one, but you become somebody else around everyone else. You're watching your back like you can't relax. You try to be cool, you look like a fool to me. Tell me, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? I see the way you're acting like you're somebody else, gets me frustrated. Life's like this, and you fall and you crawl and you break and you take what you get and you turn it into honesty and promise me I'm never gonna find you faking. No, no, no. You come over unannounced, dressed up like you're something else. Where you are and where it's at, you see, you're making me laugh out when you strike your pose. Take off all your preppy clothes. You know you're not fooling anyone when you become somebody else around everyone else. You're watching your back like you can't relax. You try to be cool, you look like a fool to me. Tell me, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? I see the way you're acting like you're somebody else, gets me frustrated. Life's like this, and you fall and you crawl and you break, and you take what you get, and you turn it into honesty, and promise me I'm never gonna find you faking. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. Chill out.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I'm Joshua William Gelb. This is Theater in Quarantine. So thrilled to have you here. Thank you all. Seeing you in the chat, really appreciate you. So we're going to hang out, of course, afterwards and talk a little bit about the piece. I'm going to grab a drink and a stool. I'm going to just do a quick warning right now as we've been having some lag issues, but the audio is great. I promise you that. So the video may get a little choppy. Don't ask me why. If I knew, I'd have solved it. Again, thank you all. Please, if you have any questions, just feel free to throw them in the chat. We will get to them. In the meantime, I'm going to log on to Zoom here and grab everyone else. This is like, whew, it's been just a really exciting day already. Just one of those like tech days. It always is. Every 3 weeks we do this to ourselves when everything seems like it's going to go wrong, and then miraculously we get through 2 shows just like that. So again, so excited you can all join us. I'm very close to introducing the rest of the team, and I just have to make sure that I hit the right audio input. And of course, just props to Brody, who did that cover of Complicated, which just sends me right back to Ralph's Italian Ices back in 2002, where I worked during the summer. So here it is, the team of Honestly Sincere. Let me just check the audio in here. KR, would you mind just saying hello?
Hello.
Wonderful. It is working. I'm going to get into performance mode as fast as I can to see if we can avoid some of the choppiness. But again, sorry, everyone. It's a little inevitable. We will fix it for the next time somehow. So, KR, should we do introductions?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. My name is Katie Rose McLaughlin. I am the co-creative director at Theater in Quarantine. I also choreographed this show and associate directed. Yeah. Liza, do you want to introduce yourself? Say what you did?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Liza. I wrote this piece for Katie Rose and Josh.
Sarah, the
Hi.
birthday girl.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, Sara!
Happy birthday.
I am the visual designer, which means I made that collage that you all got to live inside of for a little while.
I mean, that in itself becomes like the big question is, what is a visual designer in this world, and what does it mean? So that's my question. I have that question. I also saw that Alex and Jane, you have so many questions. Now is your time to ask them. Just put them in the chat.
Ooh, Staab's here.
And we also have Staab.
Yay.
Go ahead, KR. Let me double check that Staab can be seen. Yes,
Hello.
We're good.
Yay. Staab, we were just introducing ourselves. Do you want to introduce yourself and say what you did?
Sure. I'm Staab. I'm generally a composer, sound designer, and I did the sound design for this piece.
Yes.
And I just came from a recording session, that just ended, so now I'm here. I'm very excited to be here.
Well, it just went as perfectly as the last one, maybe.
Amazing. I am so excited to watch the video.
All I know is I was having a dance party to Avril Lavigne before the show, and I pressed all the buttons accidentally. It was really something.
That sounds awesome. I'm glad you had fun.
Well, actually, I want to start this off on the usual note of like, what the hell are we doing here in a closet? Because the trickiest part about this performance tonight is that I forgot to move my mouse. So I always have to turn off my built-in mic so that you're not getting lots of different, mic inputs. And we have a very specific mic on this show. So I did turn off my built-in mic on this computer here that I do the intro on. but I didn't move my mouse. So it was hovering on the button the whole time, which made me panic. So just as I'm getting into place, I'm like, wait a second, that's hovering on the button. It means I didn't push it. And I spent the entire first scene panicking that I hadn't pushed the button. But I had.
You did it.
Yeah. Oh boy. That was rough. It was rough. 10 minutes of being like, oh, this must sound terrible.
No. I would have stopped. I would have stopped you right away when you start talking. We know if we've got built in or if we have your beautiful laugh, and right away it sounded so good.
So I'm not keeping track. So Alex and Jane says, first off, happy birthday, Sara.
Happy birthday, Sara.
I want everybody to know Alex and Jane is actually Beth, Miguel, Max, and Lola in Brooklyn. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. I'm so glad to see you here.
Well, so they have questions about how we were able to switch or flip sets during the show. Whoa, that's fun. That's a good question. So, yeah, this is fun because there's a little bit of magic here. And we did a lot of work making it happen, including during the last show when someone flagged us for making a mistake.
They, to their credit, they actually really liked it. They were like, that's cool that you brought in an image we've never seen before.
True. But yeah, it's, I don't know, we're masking. We're using a lot of digital masking. So obviously there's a giant bar in the room, but we are...
And talk about Isadora.
Oh, so we use a video processor called Isadora. It is a wonderful program that was original intention was to allow you to process projections, mostly for dance. It is named after
Isadora Duncan.
There we go. And so it's a software that I had been vaguely familiar with, and of course the point of it was to bring video and technology to the live stage. I just lost my headphones. But what we're doing, of course, is the opposite. So we're inverting the process and bringing the live stage to the video. So what we're doing there is we're masking various different images of the closet. Again, we're not magicians here. We don't. We tell all our secrets. So obviously the bar is here, but we also have various different layers of all the clothes that we eventually hang, spread out. Also images of just the empty closet. And we're just constantly masking and limiting my movement until we can, make things go away.
And
go
it's
ahead, Sara.
all on like one just giant timer. So except for a couple little sections, once the show starts,
there's one section and it's amazing.
Once the show starts, Josh just has to keep up with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all programmed when the closet flips upside down, when things appear, when they disappear. It's all pre-programmed. He's the magician, really. Josh is the magician.
I mean, it's fun. We didn't even do cheesy tricks on this one, which is probably good. Probably for the best. But
I think going upside down is kind of cheesy as the trick goes.
Yeah, but that was okay. First off, this is the second show talkback, which gets fun. So just so you know, hang out with us. Also, it's looking, from what I can tell, we have good service.
Yeah,
so,
I just looked at it too. It looks night and day.
Which just goes to show we have absolutely no idea what's going on here most of the time.
Yeah.
So as soon as I do a speech about how we're going to have problems, we have no problems. So that's nice. Good to know. Just lower the bar. Let's start with the basics here. But which is to say, Liza, how did this piece come about? Talk to us a bit about the origins of Honestly Sincere.
Yeah, sure. So I hadn't actually written much for theater during this time, but was very inspired by Josh and Katie Rose's work so far in Theater in Quarantine, and was like, I thought that like something really specific to this form that isn't necessarily true in live theater was the intimacy of voices that's achievable here in this particular digital medium. So that felt really, really exciting. And I really wanted to do something that held the sort of secrecy and intimacy of possibly a phone call, and the eroticism of that to me. And so that's, I guess, how it started out. I was super inspired by the work that you two had already done. So that made it all.
Thank you.
Obviously, this is the first piece of ours, I guess technically entirely set in a closet, because also I know, Scott, you're out there and you had a scene that was set in a closet, and we did that, but we had a fake closet. But this is truly the first piece of ours that is set in a closet. This is obviously like nearing our 1-year anniversary here, and so that was really exciting to us. Sara, speaking of, would you mind jumping in there and taking it from, like, because we had those early conversations, and would you mind jumping into this larger question of what it means to be a visual designer in this 2D space?
Yeah, well, I mean, ultimately, I feel like it means whatever my collaborators want to let it mean. There's a thing about being a designer, I'm sure Staab can speak to this too, which is like, we just like theater, and there are things that we do really well, but ultimately we become voices in the room. And in that way, you know, I think we all were shaping what the performance ended up being. And so we all had a lot of input on a lot of levels. But then also it felt like there were certain jobs that just came to be mine. So we had this idea that Josh played around with, just digitally collaging some of the imagery that we were interested in together in a rehearsal one day. And it just seemed like, oh, that seems like a great idea. I'll just do one of those. And that collage led us in a bunch of different directions and gave us a bunch of brand new ideas. It seemed really clear once we knew that there was going to be clothing, that like the specificity of what that clothing became really important. There's actually one of my shirts in that closet. And if anybody can guess which one it is.
It's the pink unicorn, obviously.
I will donate $5 to Theater in Quarantine.
I mean, it's funny because, so we brought on Staab very early, because obviously this piece is entirely about phone calls and voice, and we wanted that intimacy that Liza was talking about. And so we focused immediately on sound. Staab, I'll get to you in a quick second. I'm going to do a roundabout here, which is to say I have a whole other question for you. But so we started with sound, and then we brought on Sara pretty late in the game, as in like 2 weeks, slightly less than 2 weeks ago, if I recall. Mostly because we knew we had this extremely, I like to say, like kind of delicate piece, and much more delicate than the type of work we've been doing here at Theater in Quarantine, which sort of like throws itself into video spectacle just to like get the story across. And so here we actually had a lot of room where we didn't exactly know how to fill it. And it's so fascinating. I'm really like so excited by what you brought, Sara, because I feel like you like filled the space with such a deep complexity and a playful complexity that somehow allowed us to simplify everything else in a really cool way. So awesome. Now then.
Also, Beth and Miguel say the plaid.
Is it the plaid?
They're wrong.
See, the plaid's too obvious.
Yeah, too easy.
Okay, back to the question at hand.
Now, the question at hand, Staab, is is a second timer here, if I recall. You have this is your second.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
A second timer here at Theater in Quarantine. So I do like to ask this of people who have done this twice. Because the first one you did was Seventh Voyage of Egon Tichy, which was back in June, July of last year.
Mm-hmm.
How has this evolved? What was the experience? What's the difference between the experiences? I just want to know everything.
Night and day, completely different. First off, I had a lot more time in June and July. That was the big thing. Secondly, I was actually operating the show in June and July, and I was sitting next to you, which was a very different experience.
And if I may jump in very quickly, this is the only time this has occurred. Staab is the only person to operate a show in my apartment on that one
I feel
night.
so special.
Yeah.
We try to keep it really, really, really COVID safe and to be very, very,
Staab wore a mask the whole time.
No,
it was COVID safe. Yeah,
but I think it's important
safest,
that the audience knows that generally you are in a closet by yourself.
I thought for sure, Katie Rose, you were going to say that we try really, really hard to make it as difficult for Josh as possible.
No, that's Josh's job.
Yes.
Josh makes it as difficult as possible.
We just help as much as possible.
So it was a completely different experience because I wasn't in the room. And for Seventh Voyage, I brought in a bunch of extra gear to sort of make the sound work. But this time I didn't have that option. And so it felt like designing at arm's length in a weird way. And this afternoon, we did a dress run and my computer was freaking out and my internet was freaking out and I couldn't see anything. And every 30 seconds, my computer, YouTube would freeze. So I had to reload. So I never got a full run through to listen to the final product. So I've only been listening to it over Zoom, and that's not really helpful. So I sort of felt like I was designing in a weird void almost without being able to hear anything, which is really, really hard.
I feel like it's kind of like those gloves that you have to put in, they do this for babies in the ICU where you have to put your hands through the thing with those gloves.
That's exactly what it's like. Really, and then they require you to do needlepoint and you're how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
So that was very, very different from the last time we did this. But I think the thing about designing for the closet specifically is that everything is remote. And so I'm remoting into your computer to build cues, but then once you're running it, I can't fix anything because I'm on a 20-second delay seeing what's going on. And as a designer, when I'm watching a show, I want to fix the things or I want to take very specific notes. And this way of working prevents me from doing any of that. So it sort of feels like I'm just sort of sitting here. I'm but I could fix it if I could but I can't. So that's my very frustrating experience. Aside from the fact that I had a great time working on it and it was super fun and it was a great rehearsal process, but sort of the nitty gritty of I'm trying to design it is very frustrating because of the virtual reality problems.
Yeah,
that are just problems we have to deal with.
And it requires, I find the same thing to be true for choreographing in this space, is it just actually requires a different vocabulary and a different way of working that sometimes feels crazy. Like you're saying, having to watch a run and be well, that, either we're going to crash and burn and then we'll have to stop and then I can fix that problem, or we're going to have to go back and fix it at some point in time and hopefully it'll be fixable.
And being so used to being in a live theater where I can just walk over to a console and adjust the microphone and the problem will be fixed in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I think that's the other thing. So it just requires a lot of patience, I think, for me.
No, totally.
And a lot of graciousness towards your collaborators to know that we're all working on this together. But I think that's what makes it fun. Actually hanging out in the rehearsal room with everyone has been really lovely for the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Yes, Alex and Jane and everyone else involved in that moniker. It did not take months, Liza, when did you start writing this?
I have no idea. When did I start writing this? When did we first talk?
I think your first draft came in the middle of February.
That seems right. Yeah. That seems right. I feel like it, once I was like, oh, it's Josh Gelb imagined as like my like lusty 13-year-old self, that the script actually came pretty quickly. Yeah. And so that would have been mid-February. Yeah. Seems right.
I'm like still the lusty 13-year-old version of myself, basically. So
good. That's why you're doing such an amazing performance in this, I think. Yeah.
Thanks. Speaking of 13-year-old selves, who was in Our Town or Bye Bye Birdie? Okay, speak to us. Wait, Liza, were you in Our Town or Bye Bye Birdie? You were in Our Town? I don't know if this is registered for me.
Yeah, I was the stage manager in the second act.
That's awesome.
The specificity.
Also, that's such good casting. Also, Sarah Einspinner says, "I want to hear about other actors."
Sarah,
I want to hear about other actors.
We will get to that, Sarah.
I thought she meant specifically in Liza's Our Town.
Oh yeah, who are the other actors in your
Our play?
Anyone
I got
cool?
the T on the 2001 middle school production of Our Town at Berry Institute, St. Louis Country Day School. Yeah.
You know what's sad? We never did the gesture.
Oh yeah, the soda fountain. Yeah.
We never did it. That's too bad. Yeah. Sarah, please tell us your middle school, high school.
I was never in Bye Bye Birdie. In fact, I had never even seen it until Josh and I talked for the first time about working on this show. And we talked about the Jason Alexander, and so I watched that movie. That was literally the first time I'd ever watched Bye Bye Birdie.
You gotta watch the Dick Van Dyke.
But it's not a good movie. That's a terrible movie, but Dick Van Dyke is good.
Well,
but it's better than the 1995.
Yeah, they're all rough.
No, it's fine. It was also like the Jason Alexander was like a made-for-TV Bye Bye Birdie. Like it's kind of like the worst of the worst. I'm sorry if Jason Alexander is here. I'm not
possible.
Sorry.
You never know.
He's probably a lovely human.
Him and his work.
You're wonderful. You're great.
Really great. Really inspiring.
But how come no one moves in that one song? They all just sit at that table. It's a little confusing.
Maybe the choreographer was sick that week.
That makes more sense than anything else in that production.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining that to me.
But Sarah, go on.
But I was in Our Town, senior year of high school. I was Emily Webb. I subsequently went away to college and thought that I was like hot shit because I had been Emily Webb in Our Town, only to find out that like essentially every other girl in the theater department had been Emily Webb in Our Town. So it wasn't really a very impressive thing.
I'm still impressed. I'm impressed.
Thank you, Liza. I remember that the guy who played what's the boy's name?
George. George. I
remember that the guy who played George was like the guy I'd had a crush on, but freshman year. And so, 4 years later, it was really not worth it anymore. It wasn't like exciting. You're kind of over it.
Bad timing.
But we did have a female stage manager, Liza, which was just a better choice, I thought.
Should be done more, actually.
Yeah.
I like to just highlight here that any video of Bye Bye Birdie that we are showing is from a 1988 production of Bye Bye Birdie that was done at my high school. when I was 4 years old. And it was choreographed by my mother, who was pregnant and gave birth to my brother like the very week that it opened. And so his middle name is Elvis because of that, truly. And anyway, so I was really excited as soon as Liza gave us the script, and I was like, bye-bye, Birdie, I got this. I called my parents. It was like, can you digitize that VHS tape? So truly, this, like, hats off to you, 1988, bye-bye, Birdie. But let's get to Sarah's question, which is the other actors. Katie Rose, take it away.
Yeah, so when we were in conversations, once we got the full team together, somebody had the brilliant idea to, like, what if maybe the kids were played by actual kids, and that seemed like a fun idea. But we also like.
Can I interrupt for a quick second and say, Liza, I know we did this at the last talkback, but just talk to us quickly. Kids were kids on your radar at any point while writing?
No, I was like specifically like no, adults only, with definitely 18 and up. This is this is R-rated stuff. We cannot have children reading this. It's wrong.
Which I also want to say, like, something that was really useful for us as we were having this conversation, and there were many conversations, and Sarah's so right, where we were just like a whole week of just conversations about this piece, which was that Katie Rose and I kept looking at the script and being like, is it R-rated? Like, is it that dirty? It doesn't feel that dirty. And Liza kept saying it's filthy. And like, the more Liza would push back, the more we're like, oh, like, we understand. It's like, it's not dirty in the sense of pornographic, but it is filthy in the sense of the humiliation of the 13-year-old mind. And like, that was essential to understanding this entire piece. Anyway, so KR, go ahead with the other actors.
So we wanted to test out this idea just to see if it was the right one before, figuring out how to cast children. And one of my old students is amazing, and she also has an 11-year-old sister, 12. I keep calling Remi 11. Sorry, Remi. 12.
You're 12.
Almost 13. Sister. And so I had the two of them read, and it was amazing. Brought back the audio recording to this team, and we decided very quickly that we wanted to go with children. And then, we put a call out on Facebook to be like, who knows more kids? Like, I got the only kids that I know. And we need some more. Specifically, we needed an Ethan. And for a while, we were thinking about maybe we needed a Greta voice too. And so Sarah Boyle, a friend of Josh's, put us in contact with Alex Bello, who is our incredible Ethan, also of John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch fame, which you all should go watch if you haven't already. And also a friend of a friend hooked me up with Brody Bett, who did the amazing cover of Complicated at the end of the show, which is still just like blowing my mind with how good it is. And then, that was our team. Wonderful, wonderful
I
kids.
think someone quoted Remi earlier in this chat, and it's my favorite thing ever. Something like, I have never met that man. I do not know who that is.
Remi's mom said, I have no clue who that man is or how they did that. Was what Remi had said.
Hi, Remi. I'm your scene partner. My name is Josh.
Yeah. And
you just never met.
You've never met. I think it is worth noting, too, that so early on, for those of you who don't know, and actually, sorry, Josh, maybe you already said this, but Josh has an in-ear monitor that he listens to that feeds him every single line of the show. So he doesn't, because we used to do shows every 2 weeks. Now we do shows every 3 weeks. This way he doesn't have to memorize. But also, like Sara said, he's so tied to what the video is doing that we need to make sure that everything's, sort of anchored to itself. And so what we did early on in order to test this is had Liza actually record herself saying the lines.
Oh, yes.
We didn't know who was going to play Greta ultimately. Was it going to be a child? Was it going to be Josh? Was it going to be,
or was it going to be Liza? Yeah.
Or was it going to be Liza? Yeah, exactly. And so we had this, and so that is actually what Josh is listening to throughout the show is Liza's reading of Greta, which I find particularly lovely. And then when I was working with the kids, they were using. I didn't read with them. I played the Liza recording. So yes. So they've never heard Josh before ever, except for in this moment, which
bit
is
of a surprise.
Lovely.
But I mean, it's sort of amazing having this like anchor of the entire show, which is Liza reading your own words, and I do think it's. I mean, I like to go off on how I think it's probably the only way to ever start reading a play with a living author. But truly, I think in this piece, it was essential to everything we've done.
Yeah, totally.
And it certainly helped my life a lot because I could design around, because I had Liza's track and then I had the recordings from all of the actors. And then I kind of just built that, and then I gave it to Josh and was like, okay, here you go. I built everything. But because it's all timed around the phone calls, it's sort of delightful to work with in a really nice way. Like in a way that I actually find what I listen to as I'm building it equally as interesting as what I'm seeing when Josh does it in a really funny sort of way. Like very different, but also very fascinating.
I mean,
cool.
I couldn't even imagine how different the reads would be if they read with me. That would be the strangest thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Well, also Liza gave like a really nice performance, and like she used a nice microphone, and so you have sort of like that radio closeness that you get, and I think that really helps that text in that instance. And then sort of having the phone as the opposite it's a nice dichotomy. I like it a lot.
Yeah, totally. And it's interesting, Josh, I was just thinking as Shab was saying that here at TiQ we like to always have one thing that is like set when we sort of get into it, and that actually I don't know why I hadn't thought about this, that Liza's recording of herself was that anchor that, like Shab was saying, sort of we were able to latch onto, and we're able to make decisions because we here have to make decisions quite quickly about things, but that was our anchor, which I think was really, really satisfying.
Yeah. Without a doubt. It's like the easiest thing in the world because I just do what the playwright says. Literally. And from Alex and Jane, etc. And Miguel. This is Miguel specifically. This production reflects how incredible human nature is, that COVID didn't stop people from the creative process, but rather pushed you to reinvent other and new ways to do it. Do you mind if we put that in the press release next time?
Seriously, that's wonderful.
That's some nice language. Yeah. I mean, we're still doing it a year out. It's insane to think this is a year. But like that being said, KR and I have been doing this every 2-3 weeks. And Staab has done this before. But what's so thrilling is being able to bring in new artists and finally bringing Sara into this, finally bringing Liza into this. These are dear friends and collaborators of ours who we've worked with before and have been, very excited about finally finding a piece that's just like, yes, this combination of people. And so that's what I think keeps driving us from week to week.
Well, it's a lovely sort of theater lab. It's like you're creating small, they're not like, you're not trying to make Broadway theater, but it's a lovely space for all of us to come together, create something for a week or 2 or 3, and then go back to our own little spaces, and you get to be inside of that all the time. It's really lovely.
Wow. We're just grateful that you'd be part of it. Sara, go ahead.
Well, when the pandemic hit, I was teaching a class. I was teaching a devised theater class. And all of a sudden, instead of all of us being in a room making theater together, I had to figure out what we were going to do with our class time. And I remember you finding the closet very early on and me bringing it to my students and being like, we don't need to be together for theater to happen. You don't need to be in a theater for theater to happen. And I remember, I don't think I ever shared them with you, but now I will have to because this is being recorded. But I gave them an assignment. There were like 3 different things they could do, but one of them was like, be inspired by this work and see what happens. And they made like really funny TiQ videos. They were also kind of like, I don't understand what this guy is doing, but it's just like weird. So I'm just going to be weird and come out of my closet. They're kind of amazing.
Great.
That's awesome.
It's really nice to now come full circle and to like go back to those same kids and be like, what, this is also, in the beginning, it was experimental in the sense that you were literally experimenting with the form, like what is possible. And as you have expanded the limits of what is possible, the pieces have gotten like more and more complex and more deep and layered. And it's just been, it's been so much fun. It's great to be a part of it this time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you all for being part of it. It's getting to that moment of the night where we're winding things down and just patting ourselves on the back. So let us just do final thoughts.
Favorite part of the night.
Best part of the night, everyone. So final thoughts. Final thoughts can be anything you want. It only happens at the second talkback. Final thoughts.
Is this the most actors you've ever had in a show? Because you have 3 kids, right? And 2 adults?
No, it's
2 moms.
It's definitely not. Tishi wins with 26 me's.
Okay, no, but like...
Josh, you're only one actor.
Yeah, you only count as one. Sorry.
They count. Okay, right, guys?
Tishi, what? Tishi had you, and there were some kids. There were still some kids
involved.
There
were 2 kids.
So we had 2 kids in that, yeah.
Okay.
But no.
Yeah.
Hypochondriac had 3.
2 adults.
Yeah.
And you.
This is the biggest cast. Definitely.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, all through the magic of old school telephones.
That's true.
Old school cell phones.
Which we're going to get copyright notices on, by the way, on every single one of those. I can't wait.
The phone ring.
I cannot wait to write those rebuttals. So, anyway, final thoughts is simply a time for all of you to say whatever is on your mind at this point. It can be promotional. It can be totally irrelevant. It is just a moment to say, first off, I'm just going to say happy birthday to Sara. But otherwise, that's not my entirely final thought. My final thought's always boring, though. So here we go. Staab, take it away.
I'm just happy to be back, honestly. I think as sort of weird as it is as a theater designer to be doing remote stuff, this is one of the most fun things that I've done, like the theater works, the closet works stuff. And I'm just happy to be here. I'll be back anytime.
Well, we'll take you back anytime.
All right, great.
All right, Sara.
I just want to say I've had a really great time, and it was not my special thanks, but I do want to second whoever put a special thanks for Manic Panic.
Yeah. Staab like
quality hair dye.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quality. Any color you need.
Yeah.
The best.
Yep. Liza.
I mean, I just thought this is the closest thing I've had to an opening night, just personally in so long. And I felt really anxious all day. And like terrible in certain moments. And like this what suddenly was so novel, the way to feel uncomfortable and unsure and like so positive that something was going to go totally wrong. And then to watch you, Josh, just like kill it performing brought this joy that it just feels so unfamiliar in the past year. So it yeah, not to be like too much about it, but it felt like a really big deal to me. Thank you.
Katie Rose.
My final thoughts for 10/16 on this Thursday is that I'm so thankful to all of you here in this Zoom room and all of you out there for gathering and this team was like really amazing, and we put something together that was really thoughtful and really really exciting. It was just like really, really, really lovely. And like, thank you to the computer gods for allowing us to get through this. This was, I think, actually the first time that we've actually been able to get all the way through it without Josh's computer freezing. So
twice.
Yeah. So thank you very much to the computer gods for this moment that we can all share.
Do you know that Streamlabs, when you're loading Streamlabs, actually says things like about to pray to the computer gods?
Yeah, it does. It's really funny.
yeah, but at the same time, like, kind of condescending and makes me real angry. But I want to second all the thanks here, but I want to thank most specifically and truly, like, from the deepest. Like, I cannot thank you enough, Irene, who lives downstairs. Oh, poor Irene. I see you some days, less nowadays that I don't leave my apartment, but I've been tap dancing a lot the past 2 weeks, and I apologize, and maybe you don't hear it. But maybe you do, and maybe you forgive me. Maybe you just love tap dancing. I don't know, but thank you. Thank you for bearing with this. I promise I'll take the tap shoes off now. So thank you, everyone. This very special, and I'm just like so thrilled to have this team here tonight, and so thrilled for those of you who are still watching. We have... of course, a show in 3 more weeks that I hope you check out. April 8th, we are doing a new adaptation translation of The Gas Heart by Tristan Tzara, which is a Dada masterpiece from 1921, 100 years ago. So what was 100 years ago? What was absolute nonsense 100 years ago versus absolute nonsense now, which is our lives. So that's what we are going to be playing with. And we hope you join us for that. We've got some like old school TiQ regulars there, including Alex Weston, the composer of movies such as The Farewell, whose amazing music opens every single TiQ performance. And I hope you come to see that. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you feel like donating, please donate. We are very underfunded despite the great amount of press we get. We
need a new computer.
And our computers are falling apart. It's very 2000. It's 2002 in this play. It's 2014 in these computers. Nothing is up to date. So, thank you. Thank you all. I'm Joshua William Gelb. In the closet. This is Theater in Quarantine. Have a great night. Stay safe. Get vaccinated if you can. And well, that's it for now. 3 weeks later, we'll see you then.